Y'all, today I've got somebody very special stopping by. My friend Frank is coming all the way from New York to bring a little Southern Italian flavor to a Southern lady with his homemade marinara.
I'm undeserving.
No, you are more than deserving.
Which will be fabulous with my Southern chicken cacciatore.
Perfect. We're a great team, Frank.
And finally, I'm showing Frank how dessert is done with this ultimate tiramisu cake.
Yum! Frank is a great guy. You would probably recognize Frank from The Sopranos, Goodfellas. His restaurant is probably the hardest restaurant to get a seat in here in America. Well, let's go into the kitchen.
Okay, well, I brought you some Southern Italian to the Deep South.
Southern Italian.
Yes. I came down here to visit Paula because I think there's a real kinship. You know, she does Southern cooking and I do Southern Italian cooking.
Well, Frank, I'm gonna make you a tiramisu cake. And I will help you get tied up.
That's it.
You're precious. You know who you remind me of? Al Pacino.
Oh.
Yum. All right, I want you to put in 1 cup of hot water in this bowl. Dilute this 2 tablespoons of granulated espresso.
Okay.
And then 1 cup of vegetable oil. And then we've got 3 eggs, we've got a cup of sour cream, and I'm gonna come down here and I'm gonna put our dry ingredients, and then you and I are gonna meet in the middle. Okay? And I'm gonna put in 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour. I'm gonna add 1 3/4 of sugar, 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Now, you can go ahead and add the eggs to that, and the sour cream's gonna be last.
Okay.
We'll stir that into our batter. What we're gonna do now is, if you would just add your wet to my dry. Look at that beautiful, milky, chocolatey looking batter. So if you would just whip that together.
Okay.
And I'll be getting our sour cream ready to go in. There you go. I may have wished I joined you with the aprons, because I don't know if you noticed, but I really dressed up today for you.
My Aunt Anna, who was the head chef at Rayos for many years, she would wear white cashmere sweaters, silk blouses,
No.
white wool slacks,
In the kitchen?
and she'd work all night in the kitchen and come out and not a spot on her.
No.
It was unbelievable.
How did she do that?
No one knows. It's still a mystery, but she did it.
After you blend in our cup of sour cream, I've got 3 buttered cake pans over here waiting.
And what we're gonna do is try to evenly distribute our batter, and that looks
You ready?
great. Yes. So there we go. So there we go, perfect. We're a great team, Frank.
Now these are going into the oven, Frank, at 350,
18 to 22 minutes. And I kind of have a feeling, with all those beautiful ingredients you just brought, you're gonna teach me how to make a marinara sauce.
A quick, easy...
Rayo's way.
Rayo's quick, easy marinara sauce.
How old is your restaurant? How old's Rayo's?
Rayo's is 115 years old.
Oh, come on.
Same family, same place.
Who is the most famous to come into your restaurant?
Bill Clinton. We had a great time with him. Yeah.
How did Bill Clinton get a table?
I'm not telling you, but...
So I'm tearing up some basil. And Frank, I see you're chopping the 3 cloves of garlic.
Paula, we need about less than half of that onion.
Less than
I
half.
need diced.
Okay, Frank, and what do you got there?
Salt pork.
Yeah, we got a little salt pork. You score it. So I'll do a little bit of this fat pack. You put it in, you know, skin side down, low heat, and you let it render.
I see you got some oil and your garlic already in there.
You know what I think I'm gonna do? I think I'm gonna come over here and just see if I have an apron, I don't want to get grease on my top.
This is turning a little golden brown.
It's already.
Yeah, and you can already get a little bouquet. I'm going to take this out now.
Okay.
And I'm going to add now a little bit of that onion. We're going to saute that. Okay, we give that about a minute or so.
What do you need, baby?
I got to crush these tomatoes.
Oh,
so let's lower that.
Okay. I'm actually just going to take that off the heat for a minute.
Yeah.
All right, that's the same way I crush mine.
Okay, this is what we do. The way I add, ingredients. I'm a believer in when you get the perfect aroma, when it's released its bouquet, that's when you add the next ingredient, so that you capture it at its moment.
Okay.
And it'll kind of stay.
Have you ever been to chef school?
Never.
Culinary? Me neither.
Okay, yeah.
I learned from my grandmother.
So did I. My grandmother, my aunt, my uncle, my mother.
Those are the best teachers in the world.
Absolutely. Raise that heat. When I put the tomato in, I like to add salt. We're just going to bring this to a boil, then we're going to reduce it to a simmer, and believe it or not, this will only take 10, 15 minutes.
Oh, I smell the salt pork.
This will smell even better when we finish it with the basil.
Oh my gosh.
Up next, Frank's marinara may just be too good for words, y'all.
I love this stuff.
And later, Frank's bringing a little Southern Italian charm to the Georgia South.
Oh, Frank.
It couldn't be better than this.
I so hope y'all are enjoying the show. And if you do, be sure to click like, subscribe, and the notification bell so you'll never miss a video. And we'll be right back after the break.
So, Frank, the marinara is smelling wonderful.
So if you would just tear up that basil.
Okay.
Because what I'm going to add...
You want me to drop it in as I tear, or is it too soon?
You can, and the only thing I'm going to add now is a little bit of black pepper.
Yes.
Now, by the way, if you like your sauce hot, then you would add the red pepper flakes.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm going to add just a pinch of oregano. Now, I'd love you to taste.
I was going to say
that because that's done. And
you know what? I've got some garlic toast right here.
Okay.
Oh
boy.
My, yes. Is it yummy?
And this takes 20 minutes.
That's what blows me away.
That's it. I love this stuff.
Oh my gosh.
I can live on that.
Frank.
Yes, my dear.
It's how I refer to my food. It's honest.
In Italian, we say pulito, clean, pure. And that's what this is.
Well, I want to do something now for you, if you would help me. I need a couple of cloves of garlic.
Okay.
If you would pass up. No. No, I know what I want.
Okay.
I'm gonna make you a chicken cacciatore.
Okay, the hunter-style chicken.
What did you say? That's
the hunter-style chicken. It's cacciatore. That's
like
what
the
it
hunter
means.
that goes out with a gun?
Exactly.
Now, how did that be?
I wish I knew. You know what else I used to do this with? I mean, hunters, rabbit. You can make rabbit cacciatore. It's out of this world.
You know, my daddy used to get up in the mornings and go hunting when we lived at River Bend. And he would shoot the rabbits and squirrels, bring them back, and Grandma would cook them for breakfast.
Right.
And then, when I started enjoying a little success and got to move about, I would go into a fancy restaurant and they'd serve rabbit.
Sure.
I said, oh my goodness, I was eating gourmet and didn't know it.
Absolutely.
All right, so what I'm gonna ask you to do, Frank, is to dice up this bell pepper.
Okay.
All right, you got my garlic ready.
I got your garlic.
And I got to finish chopping this onion. And I will season these boneless chicken thighs. I love dark meat. That's where the flavor is
tender.
And all of that.
Yep.
So hopefully I'm gonna render out what you left of this salt pork. Now I'm gonna get me a knife and just finish off my onion. Now, Frank, exactly how many movies do you think I've seen you in?
Well, I've probably done about 35 movies.
Wow. Over how long of a period of
Over
time?
35 years, so it's been a long time. I even cooked in the movies because I was in Goodfellas.
Yes.
And in the jail scene in there, I was the guy cooking the steaks. And I said to one of the other guys, how do you want your steak? Because I was frying steaks, and he said, medium rare. And I said, an aristocrat. And it turned out to be one of the most famous lines in the movie, okay? And that whole scene was done improv. Martin Scorsese just told us, talk about the neighborhood, talk about food, talk about things like that. The reason that line came to me was my father overcooked meat. My father loved meat so well done that you couldn't eat it.
The older generation, yes.
He liked that.
Yeah.
And that was my father's line. If someone said to my father they wanted their meat medium rare or rare, my father would say, an aristocrat. So that immediately came to my head, and that's what we did.
Brilliant. It was pure genius on your part.
It was a great film.
I'm going to scoot on over here.
Okay.
So now I'm just gonna salt and pepper my chicken, y'all.
All right, so I'm just going to sear off these boneless thighs along with that piece of gold in there.
Yeah.
So, you know what? We've got to get a table set.
Well, how about I set the table for us, and you and I can have a little repartee together.
You would set the table?
I certainly would.
Frank, we're not going to have any marinara sauce left.
Oh, Paula, leave some. Paula, I think you have enough linens for an army.
I know. I never know how many people are going to show up around here, Frank. Are you smelling my stuff?
I'm smelling. It smells great. Paula, I'm going to set all this stuff up outside, and we're going to have a little Rayo's right outside here on your porch. Okay?
I'm undeserving.
No, you are more than deserving.
After I add the sauce, we're gonna cover it and let it simmer all together.
All right, now I'm gonna cut down my heat, and I'm gonna put a lid on this. Look at this.
Up next, the finishing touches to our chicken cacciatore.
That's a pretty dish.
Oh my God, I may be in love.
And later, do you think our tiramisu cake can get any better?
I'm gonna put a mascarpone filling.
I hope y'all are enjoying the show, and I want to hear from you. Tell me what recipes or videos you'd like to see me make by just leaving a short comment below. Now, let's get back to the show, y'all.
So, did you get our table set, Frank?
I have the table all set for us. It's going to be lovely.
I know it is.
And that's going to
What do
make
you
your
think?
suspenders twitter.
Yes.
So we need to take the salt pork out of our pan now, Frank.
So if you would take that out.
And again, though, you know, people should remember, that's optional. I mean, you and I love it.
In my world, it's not an option.
Okay, but it is optional. It'll be great without it.
And I have to tell you, that was the most incredible marinara sauce I've ever tasted.
Oh, thank you very much.
The simpleness of it.
And you get it.
You know, I don't know what to say.
It happens.
All right, if you'll take the salt pork and we'll cut this off and cover it.
Yeah.
Because I've got some other things for you to do.
Okay. This is ready.
We got our water boiling back here. We need to put our linguine on.
Okay.
And then we're gonna finish putting our tiramisu together.
Okay.
And I've got a bottle of coffee liqueur, Frank.
Okay.
And I've got me a little pastry brush. So I'm gonna just brush. If you would, darling, put the linguine in.
Okay.
And do that pot any way you want to.
I'm gonna salt this water.
Yes, baby.
Okay.
This kitchen is yours for the day. Yum, this smells so good. So this is gonna help moisten up our tiramisu cake. All right, there we go. All right, so Frank, I've got you 8 ounces of a semi-sweet chocolate. You can either chop it or just break it, however you want to do. I've got your pan on. Heat your heavy cream, melt the chocolate in the heavy cream.
Okay.
I have got our cakes to soaking. So I'm gonna put a mascarpone filling in between each layer. Do you love mascarpone?
Love mascarpone.
Oh my goodness, I adore it too. Now I'm gonna take our mascarpone, put it in our bowl. I'm gonna add 1/4 cup of white sugar and use that whole cup of heavy cream to melt the chocolate, please, Frank. I'm gonna beat my mascarpone. There we go. Get that nice and smooth. Now I'm gonna measure us out 1/2 cup of heavy cream. And I'm gonna beat that in there. All right, yours is really balling over there, Frank.
It's coming.
Yeah, might
We're
want to
getting
give
there.
it a stir, darling.
I will.
And our linguine back there is just a balling. I can't hardly wait to eat the chicken cacciatore. I can't hardly wait. So you said you've done 3 Woody Allen movies.
Right.
What was it like working with him?
It was actually wonderful. I mean, you know, I think the man is brilliant. And what's great is when you're on the set and he's working, you can watch him think. He never stops thinking. You know, and you can see him look and watch and look for nuances that he'll stop in the middle and say, well, look, let's shoot that because I like that. It was unexpected, but it works.
Yes.
So let's do a whole new setup.
So he recognizes,
and we'll do that.
He recognizes something special when he sees it.
He does. And so you can see the man, his brain is always working.
All right, now we're gonna have to let this cool for like 15 minutes because it would do terrible damage to our mascarpone.
Okay.
Hot. So we're gonna put that aside, let it cool, check on your linguine, because in a couple of minutes when this is cooled, Frank, we're gonna be ready to build our cake.
Coming up, I think Frank's learned a thing or two about dessert at my house.
Beautiful. You might ought to think about opening a restaurant.
I'm gonna one of these days.
Then it's time for our Italian getaway at home, y'all.
See, I knew you were Italian.
I so hope y'all are enjoying the show. And if you do, be sure to click like, subscribe, and the notification bell so you'll never miss a video. And we'll be right back after the break.
Are you ready to get this tiramisu together?
I'm ready to help you.
I need your help. I'm gonna put a little bit of that mascarpone right there just so my cake won't move around. All right, the first thing we're gonna do is put a layer of chocolate, and I'm gonna use like 1/2 of it. How yummy does that look?
That looks great.
Now we're gonna put our layer of mascarpone. So we want a nice layer of that. Now we're gonna put a layer of lady fingers.
Okay.
You know, to just get them all around there.
Are we gonna go around the whole
Yes.
cake?
Yes, we're gonna cover the whole layer.
Okay.
Gonna put one more on and we're gonna do the same thing. Beautiful. You might ought to think about opening a restaurant.
I'm gonna one of these days. I'm gonna try that.
Now we'll use these sticks to keep our cake layers from sliding. Then we're gonna do the same thing all over again, starting with the melted chocolate.
Look at that. I mean, this is like a masterpiece, isn't it?
It is a masterpiece.
Yum, yum. All right, so while I slap this frosting on, if you would get that wonderful entree
Okay.
going, we are gonna go to a beautiful table
That's a pretty dish.
Oh my God, I may be in love. Oh, Frank,
How beautiful is this?
I almost can't believe this moment.
Neither can I. It's beautiful, and this
It's
is the
magic.
way on your porch in this beautiful setting. It couldn't be better than this. Let's eat.
I am so hungry.
Looks good to me.
Oh my goodness. Now, I'm kind of messy when I eat spaghetti.
This is great. You can taste all of that flavor in here.
Look at that. I'm getting better. I'm getting tighter knots.
See? I knew you were Italian.
Look at this.
Hey y'all, it's Paula Deen. Now, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it and click the subscribe button as well as the notification bell to be alerted when I post a video. Love and best dishes, y'all.